Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind. Democrat leftist authoritarianism strikes again. I mean, it was bound to happen, right? It was absolutely bound to happen. I think most people predicted that this would happen, myself included, that in some deep blue states, not only were they going to attempt it, but they were going to do it. And here we are. They did it. The Colorado State Supreme Court just issued a ruling supposedly banning Donald Trump from the state ballot ahead of the 2024 election. Democrat election interference and abuse of the legal system continues. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on and also tell you why it's a little bit different from what's being reported. It's not nearly as big of a deal as the Blue Anon Twitter folk are promoting. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so here's the headline from the Conservative Brief. Colorado Supreme Court removes Trump from 2024 ballot over 14th Amendment. The Colorado Supreme Court has removed former President Donald Trump from the state's 2024 ballot, determining that he is an ineligible presidential candidate because of the 14th Amendment's insurrectionist ban. The verdict was 4-3. The decision will remain on hold until January 4th when an appeal is considered. The nation hopes that the U.S. Supreme Court will hear the case and reach a final decision by then. So these Colorado clowns actually did it. And everywhere you go, every leftist news network, every leftist on Twitter, they're all celebrating that Trump's been removed from the ballot. But if you listen to what I just read there, the decision will remain on hold until January 4th. So Trump is actually not being removed from the ballot. This was merely a decision reached by a state Supreme Court, not exactly the highest court in the land. It immediately goes to appeal at the Supreme Court, and chances are it's probably not going to last too long. This is going to be another shoot themselves in the foot moment, just like what Fani Willis is doing in Georgia. It's going to backfire and backfire hard, because obviously most people view this as partisan. People view this as election interference. The people get to choose. The people get to elect their leaders, not Democrat operatives in the Colorado State Supreme Court. And if you had any question of the legitimacy of this decision, well, this will certainly clear things up. Every single justice in the Colorado State Supreme Court is in fact a Democrat. So we had a decision from a full-on Democrat panel to remove a Republican former president from the 2024 presidential election ballot. And you mean to tell me it's not partisan? You mean to tell me that this is a fair decision? That they're simply upholding the law the way it was written? Even though Colorado is getting it completely different from every other state seeing this exact same issue. I mean, what an absolute farce. Back in November, Judge Sarah B. Wallace stated that the 14th Amendment's Section 3 does not apply to the presidency, even though she found that Trump, quote, engaged in insurrection according to that provision. This provision forbids someone from holding the office again if they do so after taking an oath to support the Constitution. So again, another Democrat judge who her personal belief, and she stated that on the record, was that Donald Trump engaged in insurrection, even she came to the conclusion that Section 3 of the 14th Amendment does not apply to the presidency. Vivic released a video which I think really adds some interesting perspective.
They have just tried to bar President Trump from the Colorado ballot using an unconstitutional maneuver that is a bastardization of the 14th Amendment to our U.S. Constitution. This was a provision, Section 3, that was designed to bar Confederate members, people who switched to the Confederacy, from actually being able to serve. That's very different than what's at issue here, to say the least. This is a hollowed out husk of what the country was built on. The basic principle that we, the people, select our leadership, not the unelected elite class in the back of palace halls. That's old world Europe, not the United States. That's why I'm making a pledge today that I will withdraw, I pledge to withdraw from the Colorado GOP primary ballot unless and until Trump's name is restored. And I demand that Ron DeSantis and Chris Christie and Nikki Haley do the same thing, or else these Republicans are simply complicit in this unconstitutional attack on the way we conduct our constitutional republic. I refuse to be complicit in that. I think what they're doing is wrong, and I think it's up to Republicans to step up and stand up with a spine for our country's future. That's really what's at stake, whether we, the people, actually have a say in deciding who leads this country.
Another old law being resurrected by the Democrats using wacky legal theory to interfere in the next presidential election. That's what this is, and I think most people see it for what it is. And it's not going to work. What we're most likely going to see here, once again, is Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas coming to the rescue. The Supreme Court will shoot this down. Folks, we are seeing a real attack on democracy, and not the phony type the way the media tells us, our democracy is under attack. This is a real attack on democracy. This is Democrats once again crossing the Rubicon, just like they did with the indictments. They have announced to the world that despite their party being named the Democrat Party, they have no interest in democracy, but rather, they seem more interested in abuse of power and the bastardization of American justice. The Democrats once again have shown their hand, and I know they're all cheering and excited about it, but I don't think they understand the beast that they just unleashed. If the Republican Party needed one thing and one thing alone to unite, it was this. Pretty much every Republican candidate running for the nomination, all Trump-hating rhinos and Vivic, have now officially come out on the record denouncing this decision from Colorado. Even Chris Christie, as crazy as that is.
What I will say is this. I do not believe Donald Trump should be prevented from being president of the United States by any court. I think he should be prevented from being president of the United States by the voters of this country. That's what I think.
The only person who hasn't said a thing is Nikki Haley, which really isn't surprising at all. You know, there's been a whole lot of infighting lately, which is kind of normal during a nomination process, although it's been particularly intense this time. And so if Republicans stand a chance of winning ahead of 2024, they're gonna have to unite. Well, apparently the best way to unite a political party is for the opposing party to launch endless witch hunts and endless corrupt election interference strategies. Democrats are making a very grave mistake here. This isn't going to play out in the way that they think it is. In fact, Vivic has already announced that he plans on withdrawing from the primary, and he called on the rest of the candidates to follow suit. Well, the Colorado Republican Party just responded, quote, "You won't have to because we will withdraw from the primary as a party and convert to a pure caucus system if this is allowed to stand." And so the Democrat plan is already falling apart. It's clearly desperate, it's clearly authoritarianism, it's clearly wrong, unethical, unconstitutional, the list goes on and on. I think everybody sees it for what it is. The Republican Party is now uniting. Democrats are not going to achieve what they think they're going to achieve. I don't think Trump's going to be removed from the ballot in Colorado, or any other state for that matter. It's yet again just another desperate play from these anti-democratic, authoritarian goons. But most importantly, I think what it really shows is just how desperate they're getting. Notice how Democrat election strategies are getting more and more extreme the closer we get to 2024. It's because they know they're losing. You know, they went on for months and months and months, especially during the early primary process, claiming that Trump was the guy that they wanted because they knew that he was beatable. They were actually more scared of Ron DeSantis. Trump was weak, a frail, wounded animal. Biden was gonna trounce him and it wasn't even gonna be close. That was the early narrative. Well, boy, has that changed. It went from give us Trump, we want Trump because we're gonna beat him soundly, to now we will literally break the law and commit unconstitutional, undemocratic, treasonous plots to stop Donald Trump at any cost. What a bunch of tyrant losers. The Democrats have once again shown their true colors, and honestly I think this has been a test for Republican candidates as well. Vivek Ramaswamy obviously passes with flying colors. Nikki Haley gets a big fat F. Of course, completely unsurprising coming from the Republican Hillary Clinton. Chris Christie surprisingly gets a B. Ron DeSantis gets a B as well for refusing to actually name Donald Trump by name. We're seeing everybody right now for who they are. How you react to this Trump ballot news, in my opinion, is a character litmus test that tells us exactly who you are. And so, in a way, you know, I'm appreciating the clarity. At least that's what I'm getting from this whole thing. But those are the thoughts. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, friends, and I'll see you on the next one.